Hey guys, and welcome. It's your boy Roy. And this is Devil's Third on hardcore difficulty. Devil's Third is one of the more unique games that I have in my collection. I bought it when I was sick and tired of games of these days that are all cinematics and stuff, and I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna buy this game because it's got Itagaki behind it, and I know it got really bad reviews, so that's usually a good sign because that means it's more old school. How does this game work? Basically, it's Vanquish, but different. There's no holding back. You got melee attacks, you got first-person shooting, you got third-person shooting, you got slides. You see me do a quick melee attack on these guys. If you have two melee attacks, light and heavy, and if you end your combo with a heavy, and the HP of the enemy is near that threshold, you will get this little animation. And the animation depends on your location, the weapon you're using, and whatnot. This animation is really important because it's the only animation in the game that has iframes. Your dodge does not have iframes. Your sword attacks, no iframes. Jumps, no iframes. Nothing in this game has iframes. And it sort of feels like a game like Vanquish, except obviously it's not as well taken care of. Like Vanquish had a lot of care and love into it, and with this game you can really see that this game has been in development hell for a really long time. I actually should talk about the gameplay, but the beginning is pretty standard fare. Here we gotta run towards the gate. You can slide as well. During the slide you can't really aim, so it's really risky. But what the game, and that's the biggest flaw of the game, and you don't really see it in this chapter yet. You see me get the pipe. Is that the game has a melee and a shooting system. So you got close combat and long distance combat. But later on, the game just completely focuses on ranged combat, which means you can't really, like, if you run up to an enemy, you will die. Like, they will just perforate you. And this is incredibly noticeable as well when you have a jump attack that you can activate, and during this animation, like, it's really slow, everything slows down. Yeah, you're still completely vulnerable. So if you do that and you get hit during it, you just die. They'll just cut you to pieces. I quickly kill these guys. Nothing special. Yeah, I'm fast forwarding here a bit because this is just one big exploration piece. Over here, there is an enemy up top, and this is really annoying because you gotta throw your item at him. But targeting in this game is absolutely horrendous when it comes to verticality, so you just gotta wait until he comes down and dodge a bit. Dodging does reduce your hitbox by a lot. It doesn't have iframes though. There we go. If you throw your melee weapon, it's basically an instant kill against everything except the brutes. The brutes can take, even on hardcore difficulty, I think they can take like 4 or 5 of those throws. And that's katana throws. Not really. Yeah. The throw damage is the same. Here you see the jump attack. And you gotta select your melee weapon and highlight an enemy, and then you'll do the jump attack. And do it again. And sometimes they can block it. And here you see I'm taking damage like a lot, so I quickly gotta disable him. Get that pretty cool animation. And here I'm like trying not to die. And the game does have a pretty cool mechanic, in that during dodging and blocking you will not regenerate any health. So you really gotta sort of keep into the combat. And when the game really clicks, it clicks. Like when you're flying around, like zipping like this, blowing people with the smids, throwing grenades, quickly go into first person mode, then go into cover, melee again, stuff like that. Then it really clicks, and it's really a shame that the mechanics are sometimes a bit unbalanced, and that the game is also like really unresponsive. Because I can't really explain it, but you'll see me, like, if you compare my Vanquish plays on how well I aim and stuff, you will see me like shoot over someone, or like a half a kilometer to to the left of him. And that's all because the aiming in this game is absolutely bad. Yeah, there's collectibles too, but they don't really matter. I'm not going to show all of them, sorry. It's cool you can slide up the stairs. And there we get an actual animation that kills both of them, which is pretty cool. What do we have up next? just another small shooting engagement. Yeah, that's really the big flaw of the game, is the targeting is really off. Jump attacks are really cool though, because it kills them in one hit, if it hits. And there you see like the sort of a combination, like I jump attack the one guy, then I quickly shoot the other guy. That's a balance that the game should have. Every melee weapon has a different moveset, and the weapon can break if you block long enough with it. Here, you see me pull a Sam, put a cigarette in my mouth. You can't do that manually. It has to happen automatically when you're just idle too long in cover. And if he's idle too, I think this is a good example. Like I'm trying to fire, but hit things. Like it's really slow. And this is on max sensitivity. Let me quickly also explain how the controls work for those who haven't played this game. General controls are pretty similar, but the way the game switches between melee and shooting is really weird. To equip your melee weapon, you have to equip the attack with melee button. So sometimes when you pull out your melee weapon, you'll automatically do an attack, which is just stupid. And to here you see me quickly switch and put a Molotov up his ass. Nice. What was I saying? Oh yeah, and with the gun, if you're holding a melee weapon and you want to grab your gun, you have to press the shoot button. But you really got to tap it lightly, otherwise you're just going to shoot, which it might not be something you want. Because you might, oh, that's so cool. And I feel like what I wanted to say about its Vanquish and its not held back is Vanquish still has fallbacks. You have extremely powerful melee, you have slow-mo, you got air juggles and stuff like that. In this game, you've got melee combos and you've got guns. You can slide, you've got good mobility, but you're still like dead in 5 seconds. You don't have slow-mo to fall back on. The only thing that you really have is M'Baku. I think it's called M'Baku. You're sort of devil trigger, and the only thing it does is, yeah, you deal more damage during melee, and you heal a little bit. This is the giant prison yard. What you want to do is you want to head over to the left, because there's a lot of mooks there. You can throw a Molotov to get a couple of them. There's a guy up here in the tower. Generally, if you're in cover, you want to aim the cursor over to your target that you want to hit. Here I got really lucky, see, because this animation is completely invulnerable, so you really want to try and get that so you can also heal up, because during that animation your auto heal still keeps going, which is really beneficial. Up after this we have our first boss fight, Molotov. Molotov's pretty easy. He's generally just a boss that has minions. That's all he does. But those minions can be pretty bothersome if you don't know the pattern, but you'll see it in the video. He himself is not a threat at all. You can just, here, you see me quickly run in. It really does show the sort of Itagaki love of combat. Enemies are pretty aggressive and they will block and parry. And like, it feels like an actual fight. And you see, he actually dodged my attack. How many times do you see that happen in the game? Not too often anymore, I tell you. Anyway, Molotov, basically, you gotta kick his ass. He's always vulnerable. He's up top in the tower. But there's a couple of guys over here who are up to no good. He's starting to make trouble in my neighborhood. I think he's the big guy up there. You just gotta wail on him when his allies are gone. There, that guy. There's that guy. The cover isn't really like reliable. Like, he can throw a Molotov. That's his name in there. But here, you just look at his health bar. Kill that guy. And there you see it again, like the aiming in this game, how bad it can be and how imprecise. It's really hard to just nail down a target. And this is with auto aim, not auto aim, aim assist. I'm just taking pot shots at his body, chest, head. I think you deal extra damage to his head. And you put a little ammo crate over here, which is really nice. Oh, now he's pissed off. Yeah? Come down here, bitch. He spawns a couple of more allies, but again, like, this is a really more of a tutorial boss. The game doesn't really open up until the second chapter, which is a pretty cool stage, but also shows more of the game's flaws. Because one thing that this stage doesn't have is lag. It doesn't have a lot of lag. Game in this stage runs at a pretty solid 30 frames, but in other stages it can run up to 10, which is absolutely painful. Here, he doesn't even hit me. You can just hold down the fire button. This is on the hardest difficulty. Alright guys, that was Devil's Third, first chapter on hardcore difficulty. Up next is the second one, which takes place somewhere. Don't know. Alright guys, take care.